Today we're going to react to a video of a young lady who's 34, single, and she feels as though she's a loser. Do I agree? You're going to have to watch the video to find out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave her link in the description. I'm going to leave her name there so you can see. And if you want to watch the video without my commentary, you are more than welcome to watch the video. This is probably one of the best videos I've reacted to on this channel. Now, I know I make funny videos. Some of this video might be funny, but the majority of it is real because the things that she is saying is so relatable.
If you count the past 2 years, I've been unemployed for an entire year. And I've been single for 6 years. And I spend about 6 out of 7 days a week completely alone. Looking around at my life, I'm like, am I a loser? Now, loserdom is pretty subjective. Loserdom? Loserhood? By my own standards that I set for myself, it feels that way. I am 34 years old, single, jobless, and I feel like I have no friends. How did I end up here? What's up?
From jump, it just seemed like you're being way too hard on yourself. I don't think having friends dictate whether you're a loser or not. I don't think having a job dictates whether you're a loser or not. These are things that could control you. There's nothing wrong with being alone. There's nothing wrong with trying to find other means besides working a 9 to 5 to make money.
Welcome to my channel, Bree the Womanican. I am Bree. In my entire life, I have seriously dated 2 guys. And those, no, now is not the time. I've been trying to record this video for forever, and now is the time she decides she wants to have night terrors. Those 2 relationships combined lasted a total for 2.5 years. So for 34 years of my life, I've spent 2.5 years in a relationship.
We don't know how many people, that knock boots with, but 2 relationships, that is a certified pre-owned pussy. That ain't a bad thing. Before y'all start thinking I'm trying to be negative, that's not a bad thing. There is certified pre-owned, and then there is buy here, pay here. And you know you can't shop at that buy here, pay here, because the moment you drive it off the lot, you start having problems. So certified pre-owned, low mileage, that means the leather is still intact. In relationship language, that means that you're not coming with a lot of baggage.
It's funny because when I was 20 years old, I told my best friend at the time, who was a gay man, I assume he's still a gay man. I told him at the time, if I didn't have kids by the time I was 28, I would be a surrogate for him. 28 has come and gone by 6 years, and I still don't have any kids, surrogate or otherwise. Last year in January, I told myself, if I haven't met anybody by April, that's it. I'm giving up. I'm not looking anymore. And at that point, I had been single for 4 years, and in April, it was going to be 5 years. And 5 years is half a decade, but April came.
Again, you are being too hard on yourself.
And April went, and I was still single. And something in me just shifted. Before that, I was such a romantic. I loved romance movies. My favorites are Bridget Jones's Diary, and I love Emily. And I thought that my Mark Darcy was out there somewhere. But after April, I just completely disconnected from that. I stopped looking at romance like, oh, I need to feel butterflies. I need to feel a spark with someone. And I started looking at it practically, like, I need somebody to help me pay bills. I need health insurance. I need somebody to have kids with before it's too late. And wanting a partner for romantic reasons just felt stupid. That's what teenagers want. Butterflies.
No. Please don't do that. No. Because you're going to get in a relationship with that person, and one day you're going to look at them and be like, why am I here? I didn't even like you from jump. I was only with you because it's convenient. Especially if you're the type of person that stays in that convenient relationship, you're going to be 50, 60, y'all going to hate each other. Find you somebody that you have a spark with.
To be romanced, all that stuff is dumb. You could say that I sound jaded, and you'd be right. I was so confused because guys would be interested in me at first, and then they would romantically ghost me. They'd start treating me like I was just an acquaintance. And sometimes I would ask them directly, like, hey, what happened? And they would never tell me. I am neurodivergent. I have ADHD. And one of the things that means is that I don't always pick up on social cues, and I need things stated directly. So there was a guy that I liked for a year. He was in a relationship at first, so I just had a crush on him from like afar. And then suddenly he was hanging around me a lot. He was trying to come over. He wanted to go places I was going. Everything just kind of seemed so sudden. And we met up at a party. And because we weren't dating, I danced with another guy. And he completely stopped talking to me after that happened. And I asked him directly multiple times, what happened? And his response was, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so he gaslit me, which is always fun. Years later, I learned that guys don't like when they're interested in you and you dance with another guy, but I didn't know because for me, technically we weren't dating. And I had a lot of guy friends at that time, so I thought we were just hanging out. And I incorrectly assumed that...
What kind of dancing was y'all doing? Was y'all doing Jamaican dances? Because if y'all was doing Jamaican dances, I could see my man getting upset.
Oh, you make me holler, oh, you make me.
If me and you are talking, dating, we at a party together, and you bust a wine on somebody in front of my face, I'ma feel some type of way.
If he were interested in me, he would have just told me. Another problem that I had, I would look to characters on TV and in shows, and I would try to become more like them. But I was becoming the type of woman that I'm attracted to in stories. You know, the cool girl, the manic pixie dream girl, the fun girl, the lovable, socially awkward loser, which are not the type of women that men that I like are actually attracted to. So not only was I not being myself, I wasn't even doing it to my own benefit because that shit was not working. I guess for like a guy, that's like if you really resonated with like, I don't know, John Cena or Dwayne Johnson. That's like if you wanted to get a girl to like you and you started acting like The Rock and saying shit like The Rock would say. But what women want in dating is the Timothy Chalamets and the Ryan Goslings. I think also like I just don't like people frequently enough, and I don't really have ways of meeting new partners because all of my hobbies are solo hobbies and I work from home. My pond is very small. Even if I met someone tomorrow, I'd want to date them for a year before, at least before getting married. And then I'd want to be married for a year at least before getting pregnant. And then I'd have to be pregnant for 9 months. So the earliest I could have a child would be at 37 years old.
That's the problem right there. You sound like my wife. You have a script and you expect your life to go by the script. Even though life is very unpredictable. Life can just happen. Life can just happen in ways that you didn't plan for it to happen. It's a bit controlling, if I'm being honest with you. I'm going to give you a prime example. When my wife got pregnant with my son, it was not in her cards. If we're going to have this baby, like, we have to get married. And now I was planning on proposing, but because she wanted to get married before our son got here, the proposal was not special. You know, it wasn't at a restaurant surrounded by friends and family. It wasn't a big deal. It was literally in our kitchen.
That is old. And that's if I met someone tomorrow. A lot of the same issues that I have in romance, I have in friendships. I'm a high context type of person, and most people don't need as much context as I do. If someone says something that bothers me, I tell them, hey, this bothered me. Why did you say that? But if it's the other way around, they don't tell me. They just stop talking to me. It's especially difficult being neurodivergent because a lot of that is just being very direct. I don't necessarily think to say things with a person's feelings in mind. I might just be trying to convey information, and then somebody will read something into my tone and I'll be like, what tone? And I always thought that people should say what they mean. If they want me to understand something, they should say it. They shouldn't talk around it. I shouldn't have to pick up on context clues. But that's not how humans work. Honestly, I think the bigger issue in friendships for me, though, is I don't have an identity. Most people have, like, a set identity. You're an athlete, you're a nerd, you're into fitness, you're into music, you're a Ravenclaw. I feel like most people put all their points into one skill tree, you know? Me, I'm like, put 3 points into magic, 2 points into strength, 1 point into stealth, 2 more points into charisma. I'm not maxed out in anything. I like some anime. I read some manga. I like watching science videos on YouTube. I like reading smut. I'm not really into
smut?
movies. The other day, my mom was complaining about how she didn't like that Netflix knew that she was a black woman based on what she was getting recommended. And I was curious as to what my algorithm thought about me, and it was all over the place. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not doing it on purpose.
Don't feel bad. My Netflix and my Amazon Prime is all over the place also. And the only reason I was able to know that is because I clicked on we share accounts with people. Okay, so I clicked on somebody else's account and all I seen was black movies. I'm like, oh, I could tell you a nigga. I clicked on my father-in-law's account. Anime. But on my account and my wife's account, but I feel as though it's because we kind of watch the same things, is you got Game of Thrones here. Then you have the Cat Williams special here. Then you have that movie, what's that movie called? Through Her Eyes. If you have never seen Through Her Eyes, you gotta watch Through Her Eyes. It's all over the place like that. So don't feel bad. I am one of those people, and I be coming down on myself for this. I'm good at a lot of things, but I don't feel as though I'm great at one thing. You feel me? And I'm older now, and sometimes I feel as though I don't have time to be actually go and be great at one thing. Like, I do YouTube. I make money doing YouTube. Besides doing YouTube, I'm good at filmography. I know the rules of shooting a video. I know how to make something cinematic if I need to. It would behoove me to make this my career. But something in me is keeping me back. And it has always been like that throughout my life.
I just have very diverse interests, and I always have. But most people aren't like that. Most people start heading in a direction when it comes to their interests. And they meet people with similar interests.
Yeah, facts.
They listen to the same music. They dress the same way. They have the same hobbies. That never happened with me because I always get bored. I can be really into something for 3 months and then be like, all right, what's next? I just don't really fit in anywhere. I'm like some type of pentagonal Venn diagram or something. And when you're always hopping from interest to interest, you're hopping from group to group, so you're not able to really build those long-term connections with people. And then a lot of the times where I do build like a strong connection with people, there's some aspect of it that makes it temporary in a way, like when you and a person are working at the same job and then all of a sudden you switch jobs. You were in an environment where you were talking to this person or seeing this person regularly every single day, but now you're not. And that time that you were spending with that person is completely replaced with something else. Now, if you want to see this person, you got to go out of your way to see this person.
And you don't want
just
to
walk
do
over
that.
to the desk and be like, hey, you want to go grab lunch? Or as you're leaving, you can't like stop by your cars and like talk for 30 minutes. You're not.
Let me ask you this question. Do you meet people, y'all become really cool, y'all become really close, but in the back of your mind, you're waiting for y'all friendship to fizzle out? You're waiting for something to happen to where y'all just stop talking or, y'all start having problems.
Not in the same world anymore. You don't know the same people. The stories that you're telling from work don't have the same impact because they don't know who you're talking about. You got to set the stage for them. And you could probably do it at first, but it gets harder. And it starts to test the friendship. During the pandemic, I was making a lot of friends at the dog park in my apartment complex. And it was all because we were all working from home and we all had dogs. So we could spend like 30 minutes to an hour in the dog park just like talking to each other. But once the world opened back up, people's social circles shifted, they're back doing stuff at work. People moved. Like I said, you keep up with those people at first originally, but as time goes on, those relationships with those people kind of fade. Speaking of jobs, I've been unemployed for 5 months. I got laid off from my last job because we lost a big contract and like a third of the company lost their jobs. So it wasn't personal. I've been applying and the jobs that are calling me back are all below a living wage. And I can tell you up front, I am not financially ambitious. I don't plan on being a millionaire. It sounds very stressful, actually. I really only need enough money to live, to pay my bills, save for retirement, go out for a nice dinner every once in a while, buy a bottle of wine once a week. That's really it. I'm not trying to...
Hopefully you see this video. I am praying that you see this video. Based on the response that the algorithm is having to your channel right now, if you consistently upload and stay in the algorithm, you don't need to get another job.
To travel, a whole bunch or buy a Mercedes. I drive a Kia. I have a 1-bedroom apartment. I just want to feed my dog and buy bubble bath. And feeling like I have to go to a soul-sucking job just to maintain that very basic lifestyle feels so draining. When I was in college, I went to school for fine arts. I wanted to be a graphic novelist or an animator at Disney or a storyboard artist. I loved storytelling, and I wanted to learn the artistic skills to be able to do that. And you know what I imagine my life would be like? I thought, I'd work in an office and I'd have colleagues. We'd all talk and make friends. Mostly, I pictured my office looking like the office from Just Shoot Me. I know nobody has to remember that. It's super obscure. It's from the 90s. That was my first introduction to David Spade. Probably for the rest of you, the only thing you know about David Spade, which you probably might not have even known, is that he's the voice of Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove. But, I thought, I'll get a degree. I'll get a good paying job. I'll work with other creative people and everything will just work out. I genuinely thought that that's what adult life was going to look like. But what I did not realize was that I was a neurodivergent introvert with ADHD. I wanted to work in an office environment that requires you to not be those things. My nature was not compatible with the life that I was trying to build. And I didn't really figure that out until I had already graduated and started working. I am fundamentally incompatible with office environments. Work is not intuitive to me. Like I said before, I need a lot of context before I can fully grasp a project. If somebody says, Brianna, I need you to build a house, I have questions. What type of house? Do you want a townhouse? Do you want a single family home? 1 story, 2 stories? How many bedrooms? I feel like managers want you to just intuit the needs of the company, of the business, of them, of the job. And they kind of want you to just read their minds. They give you an assignment and they want you to just go off and make it happen. But I can't do that. Something else I hate is...
I should have brought my wife up here so we could react to this video. I hate when my wife does that. It'd be like she need an instruction manual for the simplest things. You feel what I'm saying? And she says the same thing. Hey, you can't just say something without giving no context. I need context. But deep down to me, it's like, bro, it's self-explanatory. You should already know this. Why do you need an instruction manual to do this?
Politics that are at play. When you see it on TV, all that drama and office hijinks seems like fun until you're in it and it's your job that's on the line that is paying you for your lifestyle. Then it's horrifying.
Facts.
I've been in situations where I had a terrible manager who I was afraid to say anything about because I was afraid that I was going to get fired or I was going to get in trouble. The worst manager I ever had called me a hoe in a team meeting. So I'm going to set the scene. My manager was a Black woman, which I would have thought so much more of her. For her to put me, another woman, in this situation. And there were 2 other people present. One was a 50-year-old Pakistani man, and the other was a Black guy who was around my age. We had actually went to middle school together. His girlfriend actually got me that job, just for some backstory. I had gone on a date with somebody at the job. This was the only person at the job that I had ever gone on a date with. The whole rest of the time this manager knew me, I had a boyfriend. We weren't even talking about this. We weren't even talking about the guy. I don't remember what was being said, but in the meeting, she called me a hoe in front of these 2 guys. And the 50-year-old Pakistani man just burst out laughing. I don't even think he had a complete grasp on the English language, but he knew what a hoe was, and he thought that shit was hilarious. I never heard this man laugh in my life. He was super stoic, didn't show any emotions, just kind of gave a blank stare all the time. And to this day, I do not know if he was laughing out of discomfort or if he agreed with her or if he was shocked, but he was really laughing. And that's the type of shit that I'm like, I just don't want to deal with that. I know you're probably thinking like, well, did you tell anyone? First of all, this lady had both her hands cupping in the back pockets, cupping the booty of our director. My director loved her. I just wasn't trying to put the spotlight on me. I was already struggling with the work as it is. Even though I had 2 witnesses there, I didn't feel comfortable. And then it's like, I tell on my boss, and I tell that she called me a hoe in this team meeting. She's not going to get fired. Yeah. She'll probably get slap on the wrist.
And then she going to paper whip you until you quit. Corporate, did you work a corporate job? My man's work corporate, bro. The type of stuff I be hearing, I be appalled because the type of disrespect that these folks be showing to their employees. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm like, bro, we grew up in the hood, bro. You trying to tell me that this suburban baby had the audacity to talk to you like that? We from Brooklyn. We grew up around gunshots and gangbangers and drug dealers. I'm not glorifying my environment, but this is why I can't work corporate. You didn't grow up how I grew up. You had a way better life than me. You did not go through the type of things I went through. So there's no way that I'm going to allow you to talk to me how you feel as though you want to talk to me because you have a higher position than me. I'm not going for that. There is no way I'm letting Brad from accounting talk to me crazy when I know deep down that if Brad saw me outside in the street, he's going to cross the fucking street.
Get reprimanded, and then she'll still be my fucking boss. So I started looking for another job, and I got the fuck up out of there. That's the type of shit that I am not eager to go back to. I had an interview 2 weeks ago. I was hoping to God they wouldn't call me back, and they haven't. And I just feel a weird mix of relief and disappointment, melancholy. You know, I at least wanted them to want me. I wanted to reject them, not the other way around. Also, when it comes to work, like, I cannot work in an environment where it feels like people can like just watch me and see what I'm doing. I hate when I'm working in an environment where people are walking behind me a lot. I can literally hear and feel the presence of every single person walking behind me, and it gives me so much anxiety. And I'd go to my managers and I'd say, hey, is it okay if I like sit against the wall? There would be seats available, or with my back to the window. And they would always say no. And you know what? The one time that I was actually able to sit in a corner and my back was like facing a window, I got 2 promotions in 6 months. I feel like that clearly says when I'm in the right environment and I have the right setting, I can thrive. They don't want to listen. They don't give a fuck about me. I'm not trying to complain that this is the work environment. For people who thrive in that and are fine with that, I think that's great for them. I didn't realize that I wasn't compatible with that lifestyle. I went to school for creativity, not for office bullshit. I'm not compatible with freelance work. You get assigned a project, you get a due date, you do it, at your own pace. You want to work at 8 a.m.? You can do that. You want to work at 1 a.m.? You can do that. But you know what you don't get as a freelancer? Insurance, benefits, a pension. So when I was freelancing between jobs, I didn't have health insurance, which means I wasn't allowed to get sick, which is insane. Oh, also, I live in America, if that wasn't obvious by that last horrifying statement. Last year, after my April deadline came and went, I spent a lot of time grieving the life that I was never going to have. I thought I was going to have kids by now. I thought I was going to be married. I may have wondered who I would end up with, how many kids we would have, but not whether I would end up with anyone or have kids at all. At 34, you're supposed to be building a family and solidifying plans for your future, not getting let go from an entry-level writing job that you've only been at for a year, rapidly cannibalizing my savings just to stay afloat. The really fucked up part is I just want somebody to confirm that I'm never going to have the things that I want and that I should just give up hoping for them. Like,
we're not doing that. We definitely not confirming that. Ma'am, you are very relatable. This is by far the first time I've reacted to a video where like every single thing the person is saying, I understand.
I've been thinking, I'd love for my dog to have a companion. But I'm like, well, I don't want to get another dog. What if I meet somebody and they already have a dog? Then we'd have 3 dogs. Plus, I have 2 cats, and then if we have kids, that'll be too much. I want somebody to say, Brianna, you're never going to find a partner. You'll never have kids. This is your life. Because at least then I could do something about that. I could just move on. I could get another dog. People tell me like, Brianna, you have an apartment, you have a car, be grateful. Some people don't even have that. And I'm like, by my own standards, the very least I could do is have an apartment and a car. I'm 34 years old. I should not be living with my parents. I don't have the big things in life. I struggle with loneliness and lack of friendship. I don't have kids. I don't want to be pat on the back for doing what I consider is the bare minimum. And that's not to put anybody down that is living that life, but that was the standard that I set for myself. But ultimately, that's not productive, right? It's not a productive way of thinking. I have to stop moping about it. And when I'm finally done grieving a life that I may never have, I have to strategize, to go back to the drawing board and rethink my whole future trajectory. And I need to accept that I might not have kids and that I may never get married. That just may be my life, and I have to be okay with that. When I first started working on this video, it was really a story about grief, about how I was so set on living this life that never happened, and I was lamenting that. Now that I've realized that I am fundamentally incompatible with some of the things that you need to attain the goals that I had, that there's no amount of Amazon gift cards or end of the year bonuses or unlimited PTO that's going to make up for the fact that I hate office politics. Today, I was sitting in the Taco Bell parking lot eating a burrito, and I just sat there thinking, is this the life people want? Eating a burrito and not have to answer to anyone.
Yes.
Not having to worry about picking up the kids. Not having a partner messaging me like, bitch, where you at? Am I supposed to...
The work part, I agree. There's nothing like freedom. You want to hear what's crazy? For the past couple weeks, I have been asking myself, what is the American dream? Because I feel as though I'm living the American dream, and I have to ask myself, is it worth it? As soon as I came up on some money, I bought a house for my family. I moved my family to the suburbs. The American dream. Last Thanksgiving, we had family come over to the house, and everybody walked in and said, oh my God, this house is beautiful. My wife's uncle said, you are doing right by my niece. He gave me a handshake, a pat on the back. You are doing right by my niece. Fast forward a couple months later, I'm asking myself, is chasing the American dream worth it? You can buy the biggest house in the neighborhood, but you're never going to own it. I'm going to pay this house off, and I'm still going to have to pay property taxes. It's going to go up, go down. You find a way to make good money. Uncle Sam wants his piece. Uncle Sam ain't never shot a video. Uncle Sam ain't never unloaded a train. He ain't never did nothing that I have done at my job, but he wants peace. What is the point of chasing that? Like, to some extent, I envy people that can just live. Like those people that get in their RVs and drive across the country and live off the grid. To some extent, I envy those people because they're happy. Every day is a new adventure for them. They're not in the Matrix. The American dream is the Matrix.
Like this. I've been sitting with it, and I think the reality is, I don't know. I don't think I ever considered my life without those things. So I never really stopped to think if I could be happy without them. You know, I feel like a soldier who was trained for combat. I was prepared for all these struggles that came along with marriage, with having children. Now I feel like a combat soldier who has just been told that I've been relieved of duty before even starting the tour, and that I'm never going to see combat. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? It almost makes me feel like I'm going to perpetually be living like I'm in my 20s while still actually aging. And I don't mean in the fun way. I mean all the stability that is supposed to come with age, like making more money, having security. You know, right now my grandmother is 72. She had a couple of episodes that left her practically immobile. Not too long ago, she fell and broke her leg. And the family came together. You know, all 10 of us, kids and grandkids, we rallied. We talked about all the steps we needed to take to make sure that she was healing properly and that she was properly assisted. We were working in shifts and planning everything out. And the reality is, if I never have kids, this will not be happening for me. There will be no people coming to rally around me. No children and grandchildren saying, don't worry, Mom, we'll take care of you. I only have one close sibling, my little brother. He's 16 years younger than me. So I don't know if I'm going to have nieces and nephews to help me either, depending on when he has kids. When or if. What if I'm not financially stable because I never found a career? Then I won't have money to put myself in a home or hire a nurse It's kind of scary, the idea of aging alone. And I think warrants a video in and of itself. But I have to take these steps now and be like, okay, I'm 70 years old and break my leg. Then what happens? How do I make sure I'm taken care of? Right now, I'm feeling more hopeful about the future, and that's a new feeling. The thought of maybe I can be happy if I never find love. Maybe I can be happy if I never have kids. Maybe all the skills I learned, how to be a good partner, how to be a good parent, maybe I can use them in other areas of my life. Maybe I can put them into my books because I like to write books. Maybe I can put them into those stories. And I'm just trying to figure out what to do with all this unused energy that I was putting towards those things. It's just a fact that I'll have to strategize for a future that I might have to go through alone. But, I mean, in the end, I have to stay hopeful because what else am I going to do? I don't necessarily know what happiness is going to look like for Brianna of the future, but I need to stay flexible. I was going to say I don't need to have a rigid view of what a happy ending should be like. Yeah, Brianna, you don't need to have a rigid, happy ending. I don't have the whole thing figured out, and that's okay. What happens next? I don't know. Stay tuned, definitely. If you're a regular here and you made it all the way to the end, you'll notice that this video is being recorded in the daytime. I don't know if all future videos are going to be recorded in the daytime, but I was just getting a strong call to record this video in the daytime, I guess, because it's been so long since I recorded a video. I just kind of wanted to be like, yeah, you know, scare you with my daytime face. If you like this video, let me know your thoughts. Do you have a future plan B, plan C, plan D? Let me know. What's going on with your romantic plans? Are things going as planned? Do you feel like you're on track towards your happy ending? Is it just me? Is it because I have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy that I think it's hilarious every time I say that? Probably. Anyway, if you like the video, give me a...
It's so many relatable points in this video. I am begging you, please keep uploading. If you need help in understanding how the algorithm works, hit me up. The things you are saying, a lot of people need to hear. A lot of people can relate to, and you can make good money doing it. Trust me, you can make really good money just being yourself. You don't have to worry about getting an office job. You don't have to worry about dealing with the matrix. You can just come on here, record your video, be yourself, and get paid to do it. Imagine you watching all my videos, laughing your ass off, but you still ain't subscribed. You got commitment issues, dog? It's free. It is free for you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, YouTube not going to control when or how you see my videos. Come on, people. What's going on? What are you waiting for? I ain't begging. I'm asking nicely. Don't make me ask you again.